this in the name of our Lord and Liberator, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Let us affirm. I solemnly affirm that I will be faithful to the Republic of Namibia and its people, and I solemnly promise to uphold and defend the Constitution and the laws of the Republic of Namibia to the best of my ability. So help me God. Thank you. We may be seated. Honorable members, any petitions? I see none. Any reports of select or standing committees? I see none. Any reports and papers? I see none. Any notices of motions? Honorable Muteka, take the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chairperson. Honorable Vice Chairperson, honorable members, I hereby give notice in terms of Rule 111 of the Standing Rules and Orders of the National Council to seek unanimous consent of the members present that the committee stage and third reading stage of the Public Procurement Bill, Bill 3 of 2025, be taken care of today, Thursday, the 22nd May 2025. I so move.
Honorable, sign your motion in table. Any notices and motions? Honorable Muteka.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chairperson. Honorable Vice Chairperson, honorable members, I hereby move in terms of Rule 53 a motion without notice to withdraw in terms of Rule 60 a motion seeking amendments to the Public Procurement Amendment Bill, Bill 3 of 2025. I so move.
Honorable, sign your motion and table it. Honorable members, any notices of motions? Any further motions? I see none. Honorable Muteka, will you motivate your motion on the recommitter?
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chairperson, honorable members. The reason for the withdrawal of the motion is that after consultation with the concerned stakeholders and proper research, we have found that initiating an amendment at this stage is not a priority. Thus, honorable members, I seek the concurrence of this August House to support the move. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Muteka. Any secondment on the motivation? Any objection? Thank you. Honorable members, now that we have recommitted the motion on public procurement, according to the rules read by Honorable Muteka, I would now jump the first order of the day, which was the recommitter of the Public Procurement Amendment Bill, Bill 3 of 2025, on the committee stage, and we go further. With that, we agree already. Thank you very much. The Secretary will now read the second order of the day.
Debate on third reading of the Appropriation Bill, Bill number 6 of 2025.
Thank you, Secretary. Any discussion? Any discussion on the debate on third reading of Appropriation Bill, Bill 6 of 2025? Honorable Njabula, I see your hand.
Thank you, Committee Vice Chairperson, honorable members. I will be very, very brief. I like to throw my weight on the passing of the appropriation bill. At the same time, to say bye-bye to the same bill. I would like, therefore, to state the following, among others. In the first place, appropriation bill money should be implemented to its fullest. In the second place, it should also be put to good use. In other words, its implementation should add value and address the basic needs of the electorate, such as employment opportunity, water, electricity supply, as well as social economic development. Honorable members, having said that, consultation with the regional and the local affairs council should become part and parcel of implementation process. Moreover, emphasis should be placed in bottom-up approach. In conclusion, there is a bad tendency of money being returned to treasury. To this end, I'm calling upon OMAS and other government agencies to timely start the borrowing in order to avoid unnecessary money being returned to treasury, but should be well spent for the best interest of our people. Having said that, Honorable Chairperson and member, I support the passing of the appropriation bill, and I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Njabula. Any discussion? Honorable Dobbs, Honorable Richard, in that order.
Honorable Vice Chairperson, honorable members, as we are bidding farewell to the Appropriation Bill, Bill 6, 2025, allow me to touch on some of the votes. And I think I would love to request to be given more time. Vote 2, Prime Minister, I'm really concerned with the decrease on this allocation from 1.9 billion to 635.9 million, as the Office of the Prime Minister has got huge responsibilities in the area, coordinating the work of the Cabinet, advising and assisting the President, overseeing the public service. With the Public Service Commission report, the current number of the public servants are 71,305, leaving out the security service, which is 35,000, which gives you a total of 207,000 public servants. Act as a leader of government, business in parliament, manage information and communication technology within the public service, emergency management, and public engagement. I don't know which logic we use to reduce the amount with 1.3 billion, while this office has the task which I mentioned above. Let me touch on the emergency management, whereby Office of the Prime Minister is currently responsible for the drought relief distribution throughout the constituency, through the constituency office throughout Namibia. All the way distributions were done by the constituency officers, but lately, Office of the Prime Minister has come up with a voucher system, which has left out a lot of beneficiaries, as the retailers only distribute to few beneficiaries, which the Office of the Prime Minister supply with vouchers. The biggest challenge is the beneficiaries at the farthest end within the constituencies, which the retailers cannot reach, because Office of the Prime Minister is also hesitant to pay required kilometers to the retailers in order to reach all corners in the constituencies to the beneficiaries. In Koriga's constituency, we have to reduce the number of beneficiaries from 4,045 to 2,092, meaning that 1,953 beneficiaries will be excluded from the program. Can the Office of the Prime Minister please inform us how to deal with these 1,953 beneficiaries, and as all the questions are coming to me as the elected regional councillor, as if I'm the one who took the decision to reduce the numbers. The funds allocated to regional councils for disaster management is very less. If someone's house burns down within the constituency, or the house has been damaged by heavy storms, only thing that we are doing is to get a declaration from the police, send it to the regional office, but nothing happens. The person is not assisted. There is totally nothing at the constituency offices with whom we can assist the person if the house burned down. No materials, no tents, no mattresses or blankets, etc. to temporarily assist that person. Coming to vote 38, water and marine resources, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Members, we have got a big problem in Punene region, mostly within the southern part of the region, with water provision to the farmers. Most of the people within the region are making living from farming, and with the latest drought, the livestock died because while there were no grazing, the other problem is no water. Currently, with the latest rain, the grass is plenty, but no livestock to utilize this grass, and if there is few livestock, water problems at most water points. I am pleading for years that I even become pink, that the Rural Water Supply Office, which operations has been moved from to Opuo, been brought back to Korigas. I must tell you that statistically, when this office were fully operational in Korigas, there were less complaints from the farmers, but currently the complaints are piling up in the sub-office. Farmers lost trust in the officials in the office. Materials ordered through Opuo office are taking years to reach Korigas office. Fleet are grounded as most trucks are not running. Vacant positions are not filled. That proper services been provided. It must be mentioned that with the current program of upgrading the water points to solar system, the engines and the windmills removed from water points got missing between the farms or the sub-office. I am of the opinion that the items removed been stored at the sub-office in order to assist those farmers who are still awaiting for replacement to solar systems if they have got problems with their engines or windmills. The other issue is the water points has been handed over to the farming community. Trainings have been given, but no follow-ups whether these people are doing well on their water point, because they have to take full responsibility on their water point. Again, Honorable Minister, let Korigas Rural Water Supply Office be fully operational with its own staff management, budget, proper fleet, not these old 90, 70, 90, 80 Mercedes-Benz trucks, and sufficient staff Only then we can solve the backlog and non-ending water problems within the southern part of the region. We talk about decentralization, but we want to centralize service provision within certain areas. Vote 24, Honorable Vice Chairperson, Transport. I'm saying those. I'm going through those. No, you cannot tell me what to do.
Honorables,
Transport. Am I
Honorable can
protected?
sum up. You can sum up.
Yeah, am I
Since we
protected?
went already through votes.
Yeah, no, I'm
summarize.
summarizing the votes.
Yeah,
That's
no.
what I'm busy with.
Just summarize in
Am I
general.
protected, Chairperson?
Honorable Gobs,
I'm summarizing what
will you
I'm
take
doing.
your seat? I want to state that we are just saying, in summarizing, we are not going vote by vote, but you can summarize it in general, then we leave room for others also to go through. It's what we are meaning. Yes, if Honorable can just summarize all the votes in general, then we move faster, and also can we give room to others to debate also. Thank you, Honorable Gobs. Can you go ahead?
Thank you, Vice Chairperson. In order to summarize, as I already alluded within the road bill, that within our region, Gunene, the stretching from 1,524.5 kilometers roads within the entire region, only 550.5 kilometers are upgraded to procurement standards. The rest of the 1,009 kilometers within the whole region are gravel roads. So I'm saying this because within the whole region, most of the gravel roads are worn out, and then giving tenders to the companies to blading on these worn out gravel roads is a waste of money. So our appeal to the ministry that first all the roads within the region must be re-gravel. Only then these companies can do proper work. The only road after independence that was upgraded to the procurement standard was Opuo, Omakange, Kameab Road, and the one that is busy with from Swakop and this by Uis, Korihas Kameab, which might be the last one. So with the latest one, which is going to be upgraded from Kameab to Korihas, I am hopeful that the ministry, RA, RCC, is fully working together with the regional leadership, our people within, because the contract is stating that the community members within the project area has to benefit. So the 105 kilometer upgrading must benefit our people, which means Kameab constituency and Korihas constituency people when it comes to staff, SME subcontractors, laborers, etc. So the one on the issue of the fact that settlement areas must be handled as if they are town councils. So we within the region has got settlements, and the settlements need to be provide services, but we don't have equipment within the settlement. So I would like to request the very outspoken and hardworking Minister of Mood, so that we can see from the 2.6 billion that local authorities and regional councils been subsidized properly, and also the other proposed bill of the constituency development fund also been fastened so that we can provide the services. When it comes to the amount of 2 million upgrading of sports stadiums, I am hopeful that sports stadiums, when it comes to Korihas constituency, we have got a dilapidated stadium at Herbert Conradi Stadium, and these monies can be probably used to upgrade that stadium so that we can also bring Namibian teams to Porigas to have their games played there. So I submit. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Gobbs. Honorable Richard.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chairperson. Allow me to say 2 to 3 things on the third reading of the Appropriation Bill, Bill 6 of 2025. Honorable members, good morning. I just want to talk a little bit about the ACC, Anti-Corruption Commission. It says here, be part of the fight in this booklet. I'm very worried that when I read in the newspapers that investigation officers are resigning from ACC because of promotional positions or increasement of maybe salaries, and it is so much worrisome. It will appear that cases will become backlog and nobody is going to pay attention to those cases. Therefore, I appeal also to ACC to already start maybe to recruit new investigation officers if the others have left already, so that cases which is going to be reported cannot run under the water. That's number one. Number two, I just want to talk about Ministry of Health concerning the former nurses' homes that are so depleted and it looks so very dirty that the new minister must look into that matter so that those nurses' homes can also at least get some maintenance. That is number two. And last but not least, I'm going to preach this one concerning the archives. That the second archives must, the Minister of Education, Honorable Stingam, Senate Stingam, to build at least a second archives in any of the other regions, because the current archives is so overloaded. And finally, in Katitura East, the youth complex are there. But once, if you go today there, it does not look like a youth complex, but it looks like a refugee camp. I appeal to the minister, and I've watched him, so that they can redouble their effort and at least relocate those people there to make the youth complex like a youth complex. You know, when the youth complex is going to be functional, most of the people that we have discussed the Habli Babli will not have time to use Habli Babli, but they were going to spend their time in sports. Therefore, I'm just appealing, a friendly appealing to my honorable ministers, do not make the sport facilities refugees camps. And I appeal to the Minister of, it must be assisted by Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of Home Affairs and Security, so that those people must maybe be relocated to a place which they are going to stay, rather than making sports facility refugee camps. So I thank you, honorable vice, honorable members, and have a safe trip.
Thank you, Honorable Richard. Any further discussion? I see Honorable Lukaisi and then Honorable Shavianja will go from there.
Honorable Vice Chairperson Honorable members, I rise to contribute to the debate on the third reading of the Appropriation Bill, Bill 6 of 2025. While I support the bill, I acknowledge the effort made to address national priorities. I must emphasize the critical importance of implementing all budgeted capital projects without delay or failure. Our community continue to face long-standing challenges, inadequate access or lack of water, poor road infrastructure, especially during rainy season, inconsistent electricity, or in other areas, lack of electricity. These are not luxuries, Honorable Vice Chairperson, honorable members, but basic necessity for human dignity economic activity, and national development. In particular, Honorable Vice Chairperson, Honorable Members, I want to raise concern over the Roads Authority, especially on the issue of Sibinda-Linyanti Road project. This road was prioritized and allocated funds by the Roads Authority in 2022. Furthermore, the project site manager was introduced to the public in both two constituencies, Sibinda and Linyanti. This raising expectation among residents. However, to this day, there has been no tangible progress or nothing have come out. Therefore, as the person representing the people, I would rather urge the executive to work hand in hand with constituency councillors wherever there is stumbling block or finance are not available, so that we are aware and inform the public accordingly, instead of us waiting like we are waiting Jesus. This delay undermines public confidence and hampers regional development. Honorable Vice Chairperson, honorable members, I therefore call on the executive arm of government and the relevant ministries to provide clear feedback and accountability on the status of each project whenever it's implemented or not implemented on time. If funds were allocated, if funds were allocated to this project, where are the results? If there are obstacles, what are they? And how can they be overcome? So let's work together to make sure that this current budget 2025-2020 bill is implemented accordingly. Let this budget not just be a book of figures, but a commitment to deliver real improvement to the lives of our Namibian people. With these few words, I say bye-bye to the appropriation bill. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Lukaisi. I give Honorable Amjindi. I saw your hand, and then Honorable Shavionja will close for us in this.
Yeah.
Honorable Ngulahua.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chairperson, Honorable Member. I stand to bid forward to Appropriation Bill, Bill 6, 2025. And I want again to underscore and emphasize the following. It is my understanding that during the execution of this budget, we should find a way how to subsidize electricity to what students is from July, because some of the students who are accommodated in private accommodation are required to pay their own electricity, which will not be affordable to them is from July, because the tariff increment. We should support these young ones, those are in tertiary institutions, because in the private accommodation, sometimes they have got a prepaid meter, and when they have a prepaid meter, if we are not assisting them, they will not able to use their devices, because they will not have money to pay their electricity. The one thing that I want also to underscore is that the Ministry of Education also find a way to employ those qualified teachers through placement instead conducting interview, because the interview process, as I'm speaking, is not fair enough. It's just wasting of resources of young ones with their literary resources that are assisted by their parents or guardians. Number 3, I want also our caring government to find a way to make it compulsory for all National Youth Service graduates who meet the NDF, NAMPOL, and Namibian Correctional Service recruitment process should be considered first during the recruitment process. Why I'm saying so? These young ones are already having a basic military training, and it will make easier for them to take up or to cope with further trainings. So instead to train them at the national service, then we leave them in the street. I think it's better to make it is compulsory for those forces to consider this one first, as long as those young ones, they meet the requirement, the recruitment requirements. Honorable Vice Chairperson, Honorable Member, I want to appeal to all magistrates to start concluding minor cases in a very short period of time to reduce the backlogs in the court roll and also to reduce overcrowding in police cells as well as in correctional facilities, because these things, it gives a burden to the government to feed those ones in the police cell and the correctional cell. Instead, to conclude the cases and they send them to go and to do community services, especially even in Divundu, in other projects, government projects. Honorable members, the regulation and policy that dealing with veteran issues need to be revised so that veteran project fund should be inheritable by the spouses or children, not just in the case now when the veteran dies before he received this benefit. It's just the remaining family are not benefiting. Once we revise the regulation and the policy to make it easier for the spouses remaining or the children to inherit it, then also we are assisting this family member. Finally, Honorable Vice Chairperson, Honorable Member, the regional council need to be allocated quotas by the Ministry of Fisheries, so that the regional council will have got a dedicated budget to deal with unemployment among the youth in their respective regions. Because in a current form, most of the regional council, we only have operational budget, but we want to have a budget just dedicated to deal with unemployment graduate youth in our respective regions, in our respective constituencies. With this few submission, I say goodbye to Appropriation Bill B6. Bye-bye, and I support the bill. Bye-bye, and have a nice journey to your respective Rastborn.
Honorable Kambrude.
Good morning, Honorable Vice Chairperson. Good morning, Honorables. I would also like to say goodbye to the Appropriation Bill with the following. Although there may be a few votes that I did not support, in general, I support the bill because I know if I don't support the bill, it would make no change. We need the money. What have I been doing all the time? So,
Don't listen to them, just proceed, please.
yeah. I don't want to sound like a scratched, long play record, which we call the LPs, those 33-speed LPs. Some of the honorable members like the Mutekas and the Bensons wouldn't know what I'm talking about, but it's fine. I would like to just briefly concentrate on the 4 budget policy pillars that is contained in the budget speech of the minister, the budget statement for the financial year. Now, the first point under the budget pillars is what is called economic development. But what's very interesting is that the minister says that the budget has made provisions to support and facilitate economic development through continued investment in infrastructure. Now, all these terms are very good terms, and as I've said many times, we should rather try and steer away from linguistic jargon that does not mean anything. When I started to study the MTEF workbook, which is 1,095 pages thick, it was sort of difficult to find the ways and means through which these things are going to be achieved. There is mention that except through the investment in infrastructure, which includes housing and informal settlement upgrading. I don't know how we're going to do this, especially with regards to housing, looking at the backlog of about 300,000 housing units in the country, but the slow pace at which municipalities throughout the country is availing service land. Let me say the cooperation between municipalities and the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development seems to be lacking the required zeal, where they can say, let us speed up. And if we look at what the minister says here, we want to look at informal settlements. What do we want to do with informal settlements? She says we want to upgrade informal settlements. What does it mean to upgrade an informal settlement? Does it mean we want to take this informal settlement and build more kambashus? Or does it mean we want to take this informal settlement and convert it into a formal settlement by breaking down these kambashus and giving people proper conventional concrete structures? That does not appear anywhere. It just said we want to upgrade it. It does not say we want to bring water to the informal settlements. It doesn't say we want to bring electricity to the informal settlements. And that's not, you see, common sense does not change things. Common sense does not change things if you do not have a specific program. I need to have a specific program in order to apply my common sense on the application of the program. If you do not have a program, what does common sense help you? Secondly, we look at social protection programs, but there's no indication of poverty reduction programs. How do we protect people from social difficulties, especially like hunger? How do we do that? I've said earlier we have ministries of poverty reduction. Poverty reduction and health creation goes hand in hand. We can only achieve these things if we industrialize. And that's where the common sense is lacking. If we want to industrialize, if we want to grow, if we want to progress, we must industrialize. That is common sense. Thirdly, the budget apparently has also made specific provisions to address youth empowerment programs. But go through the MTEF, and most of the budget, it talks about sports stadiums. My Honorable Richard said he would really not like sports stadiums to be made refugee camps, like what has happened to the Commersdal, the wonderful Commersdal Stadium. Since COVID, I hope people can be moved. But when they are moved, the question is, where do we take our people? Can we then first construct something for them and then take them somewhere? Youth empowerment goes along with job creation. A young person who has got about 30 years of productive employment life within that person should be empowered. We talk about it, but what does the program say? In the MTEF, there's very little that talks about how the youth is going to empower. Taking them to NYS is not empowerment. That's pure training. That's merely getting them to learn how to do a few things. But when they are done there, then our youth goes home to the same areas from which they came to the NYS. Lastly, the fourth budget policy pillar that is spoken about in this statement is food production. If one look at food production, or if I look at the term food production, it immediately takes me to our green schemes. Our green schemes, I'm telling you, if you don't believe me, you don't have to. But our green schemes in support of the formal agricultural sector is the answer to food security for our country. The idea of the green schemes is a brilliant idea. But the way that it is managed, we have been to the green schemes. But what we have found there, the low levels of productions, and I would really like to see that when our budget address that the green schemes are empowered with monies that comes in time, enough seeds that's bought, and especially when one looks, we've been at Etunda, the Arab Regional Council, we've been at Etunda. Lots of bales of hay and grass lying there rotting. The fields not being plowed because there were no seeds. They were waiting for the subsidies coming late. And it's not as if our people does not want to work, they want to. But when we say we want to look at food production, let us empower the green schemes. Let us also look at the informal agricultural sector. Subsistence farming. What's wrong with supporting subsistence farmers? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with giving 10 ewes, 1 ram, 10 cows, 1 bull, something like that? What's wrong with that? So that we can support from the informal sector, support the formal sector. At the end of the day, the 20 cows that Honorable Chabeonja has got in his kraal is mostly for self-use. But if we can give him 10 more, then he can start to take it to the auctions, he can start to take it to Midco and all that. So I would really appeal to our government. These are 4 very great pillars that we're looking at. But most probably, we must, as Honorable Chabeonja has said through the chair, use our common sense and move into constructing proper programs in order to have these 4 pillars executed properly and for them to become a reality. Honorable Vice Chairperson, honorable members, thank you very much. It was 3 great weeks here in Chambers, and I'm telling you, the outbursts, the laughs, the angriness, and all those things, that's what makes this chamber such a great institution, and I'm proud to be a member of this great institution. And don't you worry, I'm straight, but I love you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Kamburude. Honorable members, I'm now going to give to the first Vice Chairperson of the Committee of the whole Council to close for us on this bill. Honorable Shavionja, the floor is here. Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Honorable.
Honorable Shavionja,
Yeah, ma'am.
my apology. There is one person who have to come in. Honorable Nguvawa, may take the floor. My apology.
I think I'm the chief that need to close up. Behave. Thank you, Vice Chairperson of the thank you, Vice Chairperson. Yeah.
Honorable, go ahead.
I think that I'm protected.
I am. Go
Yes.
ahead, please.
Let me say goodbye to this bill, but before doing that, I would like to say the following before this August House on the Appropriation Bill 6 of 2025. Honorable Vice Chairperson, honorable members, the budget process and review of the appropriation bill is a constitutional requirement and is one of the most significant proceedings in the National Council. This process promotes a culture of accountability and transparency with government and its institutions, as the public has to be enlightened on the benefits of the program and activities of the government of the day. Honorable Vice Chairperson of members, there is a need to empower the Council of Traditional Leaders and allow the House to make a meaningful contribution to the development of the communal areas. Having an annual meeting of the traditional leaders is not sufficient. They should at least meet biannually and be allowed to come up with their own agendas and not be prescribed by the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development on what their agenda should look like. This council should operate independently from the said ministry with own support staff Government should learn from countries such as Botswana, Republic of South Africa, how traditional leaders are being treated. Honorable Vice Chairperson of members, Ministry of Education, Youth, Sport and National Services must transfer the youth centers to the regional council. That is a double C, because this youth center is just a white elephant. Honorable Vice Chairperson, the Ministry of Health, Social Welfare in this 2025 budget must fast track the process of Duplessis Health Center to be constructed in this financial year, because this is long overdue. I once again call upon the Ministry of ICT to engage the MTC in regard with the network coverage in rural areas where it's very poor. And let all the MPs, as I requested in the vote, be given a device that can catch network wherever they are so that they can do their work properly. Because we are doing emergency work as the regional councillors in the regions. Lastly, Vice Chairperson, honorable members, let me once again call upon the Minister of Agriculture, Water, Land Reform and Marine Resources to implement the land conference resolutions, and all foreign-owned commercial funds must be expropriated with immediate effect. Let's keep up the spirit of Ubuntu. And I call upon the Minister of Justice to look into the registration of commercial funds that have been registered in the PTY Limited that makes it difficult for the government to expropriate these funds. With that, I wish the appropriation bill a goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Ngubauga. Honorable members, I seek the concurrence of this House that since we have reached our time to go for break, and we have just one item, that is the state order to do, and Honorable Chavionja to close on this bill. Should we go for break or we finish? Thank you very much, honorable members. I shall now give the time to Honorable Chavionja just to close on this bill. Honorable members, I'm not ignoring you, but at least we were having time to debate. That's why now today at least many members have just said things. Can we go ahead with Honorable Chavionja to close for us? Thank you very much for that understanding. Honorable Chavionja.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chair. Good morning, Honorable members.
Honorable Richard.
Let me start with Article 1 of the Namibian Constitution. I will just quote two sub-articles. First one is the Republic of Namibia is hereby established as a sovereign, secular, democratic and unitary state founded upon the principle of democracy, the rule of law and justice for all. Sub-rule 2 talk about all power shall be vested in the people of Namibia, who shall exercise their sovereignty through the democratic institutions of the state. So we are here because of the people. Let's make sure that the people also play their part in whatever decisions we are taking. Having said that, let me then do my little contribution, Honorable Vice Chair. I'm overwhelmed by the vigorous improvement in most, if not all, the votes in the Appropriation Bill of 2025-2026. It really demonstrates the importance, the seriousness, and the velocity that we mean when it comes to service delivery. Maybe the Afrikaans words got its right place in our vocabulary, but as a haze on mutter. With that, I want to thank our first female president, who I vividly recall her words during the many campaigns, the many words in her campaign. One words that I quote is that I was part of the bus, but I was not the driver. I might know all the tents, the caves, and the terrain. All I'm asking is you make sure to make me the driver, and I will definitely meet most of your demands with the help of a peace and a hard-working nation. End of quote. Honorable Vice Chairperson and honorable members, I will point out some ministries just because of time, and equally do not want to dilute the marathon contribution of the many members. One ministry that is very close to my heart is the Ministry of Sport, Youth and Services. If memory serves me right, it is the very first time that this ministry received an amount of over $1 billion in a financial appropriation year. One of the greatest icons of our continent, the late Nelson Mandela said, and I quote, "Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. It speaks to the youth in a language they understand. Sport can create hope where there was only despair." End of quote. Honorable members, sport facilities and sport activities can create massive recruitment from different backgrounds, being it athletics, soccer, netball, rugby, or even at administrative levels. We will never go wrong if we continue to invest in our youth through the sports, culture, and innovation. I want to thank the Minister of Finance and the team and wish that this work in progress. Hopefully by the end of this financial year, our football team should then desist from playing outside our motherland during their home games. We need to professionalize our sport codes and compete at the highest level like all other countries. Equally, private sectors must walk the talk. Another ministry is the Ministry of Health, which face multifaceted obstacles and challenges. The ministry needs to fill vacancies to maximize service delivery and compete with other health service providers. They need fleets, equipment, medicine to expedite service delivery. After 35 years of independence, our people cannot continue to travel long distance to get the necessary medical support. We need to build referral hospitals, upgrade clinics to health centers, district hospitals to intermediate hospitals. District hospitals like Okahanja constituency hospitals need an urgent intervention because of the volume of the patients. The population has increased significantly, and it serves two constituencies, namely Okahanja constituency and Matako constituency, with a population of a minimum of 70,000 people. I'm appealing to the ministry to relook at the option of requesting certain medical products to be exempt from the normal procurement system because of the nature of the service that is essential and need to be procured directly without using the middle person. We need more doctors, nurses, health workers. We need to revisit some organizational structures. Another ministry is the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs. One want to talk about this ministry, but then let me also quote our late third president who said, inclusivity spells peace, as exclusivity spells conflict. So one want to thank and acknowledge, if not appreciate, the work done by this ministry. Mostly philanthropy works in our respective constituencies. I equally want to thank the ministry for ensuring that there is serious equity in their job recruitment. They have hit our call, and we thank them wholeheartedly. We want other government entities to do the same, mostly correctional service in the Ministry of Safety and Security. One want to register my gratitude and appreciation for the amount allocated to the Veteran Affairs Department. But my sincere appeal is the mass registration of all veterans and their recognition of veteran status. Many are still not recognized and validated for their role in our country. Smart people say, you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only option you have left. Our people have hope in our leadership under the SWAPO government. Let's make sure that we deliver on their hope. In conclusion, Oliver Tambo said, and I quote, "The children of any nation are its future. A country or a movement or a person that does not value its youth and children does not deserve the future." Let's protect our children at all costs. With those few contributions, I then wish the Appropriation Bill, Bill 6 of 2025, a very goodbye. And then I said, with this few contribution, let's appropriate our fiscal responsibly and with an episode of full accountability. So I submit. Vice Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Shavionja. With that, I now put the question that the bill be read a third time. Any objection? I see none. We agree to. Thank you. The Secretary will now read the bill a third time.
Appropriation Amendment Bill, Appropriation Bill, Bill number 6 of 2025.
Thank you. So we say the bill is approved. Thank you very much. The Secretary will read the third order of the day.
Debate on third reading of the Public Procurement Amendment Bill, Bill number 3 of 2025.
Thank you, Secretary. Any discussion? Honorable Tebele, I see your hand. Honorable Tebele.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chairperson, for this opportunity, and a very good morning to all members of Parliament, National Council. Yes, it is actually very important to highlight about the establishment of the specialized public procurement court, as it will improve the efficiency and fairness of resolving procurement disputes by providing a dedicated legal mechanism. It will help reduce delays, ensure consistent rulings, and enhance transparency and accountability in public procurement processes. Overall, a specialized court should be essential for strengthening the integrity of procurement system, combating corruption, and building public trust in government contracting procedures. So, and with this, we call that this specialized public procurement to come into being, and we should support it really, as it will really yield results for us as a country. I so submit.
Thank you, Honorable Tebele. Any further discussion? I see none. I now put the question that the bill be read a third time. Any objection? We agree to. The Secretary will now read the bill a third time.
Public Procurement Amendment Bill, Bill number 3 of 2025.
Thank you. So the bill will say bye to it. Thank you. Honorable members, before we come to the end of our orders of the day, I have a closing statement to make or remarks for us. Honorable Emma Tangi Muteka, the Deputy Chief Whip of the National Council and all whips, honorable members of the National Council staff members, media representatives, ladies and gentlemen, this 16th session has concluded having been called in accordance with Article 75, Sub 8 of the Constitution and Rule 43, Sub 2 of the National Council Standing Rules and Orders. The purpose of this 16th session was to examine 4 legislation in addition to the appropriation bills. Honorable members, I want to express my sincere gratitude for your dedication and perfect attendance during this session. Because of your dedication to the National Council responsibility, and the National Council has always had a quorum. Give yourself a round of applause. We never went without a quorum. We have always met. You are actively engaged in the discussions, and most importantly, our conversations are conducted in a very good manner and courteous manner. Through your participation, the opinions and desires of the people in our regions are represented and taken into considerations. On this, honorable members, I congratulate you once again for what you did during this session. Honorable members, I urge you once more to favorably respond to the request for the next session to take place at a time established by the National Council session. It is established through the calendar and also the calendar of the National Council. And we follow this calendar primarily depends on the National Assembly session calendar. Furthermore, let me applaud the members of the Rules, Orders and Business Committee, as well as the Implementation and Coordination Committee for taking it and contributing to the smooth operation of the National Council. I am delighted that all activities are taking place as planned. The synchronized work plan is timelessly implemented, and the flow of information from top leadership to the entire membership is taking shape and is promptly done. Added on this, we also thank those offices, ministries, and agencies, which is OMAS, for responding positively when called upon and during the National Council Standing Committee oversight visits and activities. For this reason, I further look forward for a continuous collaboration. These are our stakeholders. Honorable members, on behalf of Honorable Lucas Sinimbo Muha, the National Council Chairperson and his family, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all of the honorable members and staff of the National Council who provided support after his devoted wife died in a tragic car accident on Friday, the 9th of May, 2025. Your presence, consoling words, floral tributes, and acts of kindness during the memorial and funeral service brought the bereaved family great comfort during this time of grief. And they are deeply appreciative of everyone who traveled from far and wide, who sent condolences messages and joined them in prayer and solidarity. Honorable members, in my conclusion, I would like to thank each and every one of you for your excellent attendance and contributions. While we anticipate the upcoming session, I wish you a safe journey and my greetings to your spouses, children, and family at large, even those who doesn't have spouses and children. However, they are coming in our way. I want to quote what one important person in this country was saying. I quote, "We are too few to be poor," end of quote. This is Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah, the President of the Republic of Namibia, who made this call during her maiden speech during the State of the National Address, meaning that Namibia has enough for everyone's needs. Let us just double our effort toward the realization of this clarion call. Our President, the slogans one have just said during the campaign, I have just added the very important one during her address of the nation, that we are too few to be poor, and this is awaiting us who are in positions of government, civil servants, those in OMAs and also agencies, so that we have to double our effort to make sure that these have to be realized after we are entering our offices. Make sure this slogan is in your head. We should change our minds. It is now. People in Namibia, those who are maybe given this task to make sure that the needs of the citizen of Namibia must be responded to, it is us to say, Namibians, we are too few to be poor, and who to make this to happen is us, all of us, from all our president downwards to the last person in this Republic of Namibia. So, honorable members, with that, let me once again wish you all the best on your journey back home. And also, thank you very much for your kind attention. I thank you. Honorable members, that was the order of the day. I shall now call the Deputy Chief Whip to adjourn this House. Deputy Chief Whip.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chairperson. Honorable Vice Chairperson, please permit me before I adjourn this House to equally wish you well, Honorable Vice, as you embark on a not so comfortable journey back home. We wish that God will go before you and your family as you navigate your way through this very dark moment. And we are wishing that your dear sister soul shall rest in eternal peace. With that said, Honorable Vice Chairperson, honorable members, the House stands adjourned until further notice. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Muteka. With that, the House stands adjourned until next session.